This is the Samsung fridge freezer with the freezer on the top and the fridge at the bottom. The problem that we are experiencing is that the water during the auto defrost cycle from the freezer doesn't drain to the back of the fridge into the drain tray which sits on top of the compressor. It actually leaks out from the front of the fridge through the fridge, which is at the bottom, and as you open the door, all of the water spills onto the floor. So today we're going to attempt to unblock the drainage and the drain pipe so that we don't have this problem. Normally, the auto defrost function for the freezer is a drainage in the back of the freezer compartment. It allows the water to drain down to the bottom into this tray which sits just above the compressor, and the heat from the compressor causes the water to evaporate. But as you can see, there hasn't been any water in here for a while, which means that the drain pipe is probably clogged, or the drainage channel is clogged. So instead of the water ending up in this compartment, it's actually leaking through the fridge and out from the front of the fridge. So to do this, we're going to have to open up the freezer compartment and clean the drainage system. So this is the freezer compartment which sits just above the fridge, and we have to firstly remove all the items, make sure the appliance has been off for at least 6 hours, so that anything that's held in place due to frozen water or ice can easily be removed without damaging anything. So first we're going to do is remove the ice tray compartment, which normally comes off easily. Going to remove the shelf, which will then allow us to work on the back panel. So all of the trays that can slide out, we've removed those easily. And now we're left with this bracket that holds the ice trays and the ice box. If you look up here, you can see that it must slide out from this grommet. There's another one at the back and one here. So we're going to try and pull it forward and see if we can get that out. So I'm going to try and do that, and then we'll continue from there. So it's as easy as pulling it forward, and then on the side here there's a little lip into which it is grooved in. So with a little bit of maneuvering, this entire bracket can be taken out, which then gives us access to this back panel. And as you can see, we probably have to remove a screw from behind here and one from behind there, and then we can most probably unclip this panel, which will give us access to the drainage. So I'm going to remove these covers, expose the screws, remove the screws, and then let's see where we get. So with a small flat head screwdriver, I'm going to maneuver it into underneath here and do the same on the other side. Comes out quite easily, and as you can see, there's a star screw in there and a star screw in there, which I'm going to remove. Okay, so screws are loose. There you go, one down, and then let me try and get the other one. Turn and turn. Okay, I think it's pretty loose. I can't get it entirely out. It's probably just hooking onto the plastic, but it's loose enough. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it in there, but I know it's loose. And now we need to pry against this panel to separate it from the back wall. So to do that, I'm going to use a plastic pry tool, which is part of my trim removal tools from my car. I'm going to choose an appropriate one to slide behind and see if I can pull out this panel. That one's a bit too big. Let me find one that's appropriate. When I do, I'll show you which one I used. This is the one I've selected, and I'm going to slowly work myself around here, try and separate this panel from behind here. It's difficult with one hand. I think you get the idea. As you can see, it is moving, it's loose. So once I'm done pulling it apart, I'll let you see what I actually did. It's been a bit stiff, but nonetheless, after pulling and yanking, this is where I got to. I see there's a plug or a wire behind here that needs to be detached. So let me get behind here and see what's going on. Okay, so there's a plug over there that I think I have to detach from here. There you go. So this plug, press and pull. Okay, and there you go. So that's the only plug that needs to be detached. These are the two screws from the front, screw holes that run through this panel, through the panel and into the back. There's one and there's the other. Okay, so this can then be set aside. And then we have access to the drainage, which is probably blocked. We need to look inside here to see where the actual blockage is, so that we can clear the actual drain. If you look inside there, it's not too clear, but at the bottom is a channel which should be clear, and there should be a hole somewhere in the middle for the water to drain through. But unfortunately, it is completely iced up. So we need to defrost that ice, and the easiest way is going to be to pour some boiling water in there. This unit has been off for 12 hours, but it hasn't helped to defrost that ice. So we're going to get some boiling water with a funnel and pour it in at the bottom here into that silver drainage channel and try and melt that ice. So let me go ahead and boil some water. Then I'm going to use a funnel, pour the water through the funnel so that I direct it into that channel. The water is on the boil. Just want to show you again what keeps this panel in place. It's these two screws which we removed, and once the two screws are removed, we need to pry the panel out gently from the side, and what keeps it clipped into place is, as you can see, there's a groove over there and another groove over there and one at the bottom and on the other side as well. One over there, one over there, and one at the bottom. And there's a few on the top. So, on the panel itself, there's these clips, and these clip into that groove. So, it is a bit difficult to get it out, but once you pull at it a bit snugly, you should release these clips and it will pull out. Okay, so I've boiled some water. I'm going to use a funnel like this, slotted it into the groove and moderately pour some boiling water into here, small amounts, so that it doesn't overflow and end up in the fridge, and allow the water to melt the ice. I'm going to do this along the entire channel and try to get the ice to melt. The way that I'll know that I've made some progress is if I find water at the back of the fridge where the normal water is meant to drain. So let me do this along the entire channel with very small amounts. We don't want to flood it and cause this boiling water to find its way through to the front of the fridge. So it will take some time. There's no need to rush through it. Let's do it over a period of 15 to 20 minutes. And once that channel is clear, we'll see if the drainage works how it's supposed to work. Okay, so I've been pouring boiling water in here. So I still have a blockage. You can see the ice has melted. But on the right hand side, at the back there, that's where the drain hole is. There, I don't know if you can see that. I'll try with this, which is over there, and that is still a solid piece of ice. So I need to get that piece to melt. Once that is done, this water here should then be able to drain. So that is the drain hole. It is still blocked with a solid piece of ice. I'm going to attempt to put some more water. And that's why I caution you not to pour too much water, because end up overflowing out of this channel and really causing a big mess. So slowly I'm going to target that blob of ice with boiling water. Let's see if we can unclog this drain channel. So I'm targeting that spot making a difference. It's looking better. Okay, let's target that spot. You can see that's where we're aiming for. Gonna give it a few minutes and see what happens. It took almost an hour of pouring in water, boiling water, boiling the kettle on several times, but eventually the ice melted, and that's the drain hole. And to prove that it's working, we need to check the tray at the back of the fridge on top of the compressor to ensure that there's some water in the tray, which means that the water drains straight into the tray. So let's go and have a look at the back of the fridge. But it does take patience, and it's frustration. One can be tempted to just pour the whole 1 liter of boiling water down here, but it's not a good idea because it just ends up leaking from the front of the fridge, which is not good at all. Let's have a look if they have some water in here, and if I shake it, you can see water has come through, meaning that the drain is now working. This water will evaporate once the fridge is on. Compressor gets hot and causes water to evaporate. So that's it, folks. Hope you enjoyed this video. Hope it helps you to fix your fridge that leaks from the front instead of draining to the back. Please like and subscribe.